Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Warped, a completely unnecessary Star Trek podcast, where we do unasked-for audio commentary of Star Trek episodes. Here are your hosts, Sean.
Get me to my regular doctor. They're familiar with my weird, things.
Matt.
It's completely bonkers, and I didn't understand what was happening like 80% of the time, but I loved it.
Jake.
His abs unfurled.
Philippe.
I don't have honor! What's the point? I want to live and sing and dance.
Erin.
This show is so good, we're just like watching it.
Min Win.
Would you fuck, marry, or kill me?
All of that.
I would do all three. All three in that order.
And May.
Dear Diary, I kissed an android today, and he told me he felt nothing.
Make it so.
Okay, so I had some thoughts because this is a Deanna-y episode. We had a Deanna-y episode last week. So when I watched these two episodes, one after the other, I said to Stan, we got a double dose of Deanna this week. And Stan said, double D Deanna? And I said, yeah, that's what they used to call her. They used to call her double DVM, Deanna, back at the academy. Because she has large boobs.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, she wears that tight suit, so everything.
They're certainly
large.
Prominent boobs.
Yeah.
If they're not, they may not be huge, but they're out there.
They're good. There's good cleavage.
They're on display, certainly.
Yeah. They're a major part of her character.
She's got a tiny waist.
But here's my question: so what is the qualification to be a counselor on the Enterprise? Right? How did Deanna get? Because she didn't go to the academy. Because she's not really. She's in Starfleet, but she didn't go to the academy because they talk about that in the episode where she has to take over, right?
Yeah.
And she went to counselor school, but then how do you go from being in counselor school to getting on the Enterprise is what I would like to know.
I think your mother is Loxana Troy. That's how you...
Yes.
She's
Don't you think
baby.
that's the answer?
Nepo baby.
This is what I wrote down in my phone yesterday after watching these. Hi with Stan.
Yeah.
I wrote, Deanna is a Nepo baby. Because Loxana, the holder of the sacred chalice of Ricks shit.
Oh my god!
I can't remember what all her titles are, but she's famous. She's like the princess of Betazoidians.
Mother of Dragons.
And so, don't you think Loxana must have pulled some strings and been like, I want my daughter to be on the best ship in Starfleet. And also, if you could get that cute Will Riker that she used to date, put him on the ship too, because I think they're meant to be together. So now my new headcanon is that Loxana is responsible for all.
She took this whole ship.
And
she knew who Picard was and was in love with him, so made him the captain.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think the first thing was put her on the ship with this guy whose profile I've seen in the Starfleet register. I want to get to know him.
Yeah, put him with Picard.
I want to get to know this silhouette of
this
skull.
eagle-beaked man.
Yeah.
We're watching season 5, episode 12. It is called Violations. I'm avoiding starting it because it's a drag. But how much time? 45:29 on the clock. I'm punching the triangle in 3, 2, 1 punch. Buffering.
And we're off.
There she is.
I think it's going to be interesting to guess what the IMDb rating of this one is.
Me too.
Because it's
wait till you see the Ulians, Aaron.
Oh no.
You're not going to like what's happening on the side of their heads.
Oh no.
I didn't like it. Oh, there's Keiko.
So this is the only episode where you have Keiko and no Chief O'Brien.
Oh wow! And he wasn't in the last one either, and he totally should.
He should have been because there was a whole transporter room thing.
Yeah.
Usually that would be Miles. Maybe he was off making one of those Irish gangster movies he used to make.
I like the braids.
That a McDonough?
The braids is great, but
The
other guys have some weird stuff going on. Yeah,
so
Cole
vague.
Meany is in a bunch of Irish gangster movies in the
that
90s.
jacket.
I love the holy jackets they wear.
Wait.
Yeah, they're literally somebody just took a scissors and went clip, clip,
They're
clip,
like
clip.
cut a bunch of triangles into this jacket.
Somebody took Ice-T's.
Make them look like snowflakes.
Some costume assistant.
Vanilla
You think
Ice's
made those?
jacket from Cold
They're
War.
like robes from a hotel.
Yeah.
They've cut triangles out of.
The 80s and 90s had long coats.
Oh, you know what the Disneyland Hotel had that I forgot to tell you about? Really good robes. And bathrobe robes were nice.
Did you accidentally bring one with you?
No, I'm not really a robe guy, except when I'm on hotels.
Yeah.
I'm all about that robe life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do a lot of robe life.
Are you? Do you do a lot of robes?
Oh, yeah. I'm surprised I'm not wearing one right now.
Yeah.
I have
Did
before.
Philippe put the Snuggie on? No, he didn't.
I did for a moment.
Look at that lady.
See, they have weird things on the side of their heads.
Oh.
It looks like the sides of their heads are falling apart.
It's like Facebook.
Yeah, Sean's right. This is the only Keiko episode where Miles isn't also in it, because Miles is always, Keiko is always only there.
She's in. It's
for
an
Miles.
episode about the two.
It's about their
Always
relationship.
cock-blocking her.
And that includes Deep Space Nine. She's
Yep.
never
Yeah.
in one of those without him either.
Doesn't pass the
She's
Bechdel
not in
test.
as much Deep Space Nine as you think she
I
is,
think she would be. Yeah.
because he mostly just talks about her. But she's not really in
His
very much.
main relationship is with Dr. Bashir and their
That's
bromance.
true. They are lovers.
So that's the important O'Brien relationship in Deep Space Nine.
That's correct.
He cheats on her in Deep Space Nine?
Yeah, with Dr. Bashir.
with a guy. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a bromance.
Oh, bromance. I don't
It's
know.
a fanficky.
You just see the side of her head, Aaron.
Cool. Too many textures.
It have, but
Look
it
at
has,
that guy's hair.
Yeah,
Bubble.
I don't like anything about any of this.
I don't like any of this.
He's got vascularity on the side.
I don't
of
like
his
the
face.
vascular.
Somebody wasn't thinking. They were just like slap some shit on the side. of
Make
their
him look like aliens.
Slap, slap, slap.
There was no thinking involved.
He's like, well, they're brain people, so make their brain area look weird.
their brain.
Their brain area.
You mean the top of their head?
Their brain area.
They're so smart they get fucking holes in their jackets. Like, don't fucking wear a jacket if it's gonna make you too hot. Don't put fucking holes in it.
Well, they got holes in the sides of their faces. This is
Their holes is their answer to everything.
Is this messing your? Is this going to cause your?
I don't like it. No,
Tryptophobia
it's
to act
really,
up?
it's like close to like.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Ugh.
Lots
is
of
kinda
holes.
There are a lot of holes in this.
I don't like it. I do not like it. It's not the worst, but it is.
Yeah.
He's even got holes in his ear. Look at that.
Yeah.
I don't like looking at that head either.
No.
It's not
I would like to know more about that guy, Sean. So I hope you have
We're
something
in the
prepared.
details. It is season 5, episode 12, Violations. Original air date February 1st, 1992. Transporting 3 Ulian
Watch your step
mind-probing
there, buddy.
historians, the Enterprise crew is stymied when some of its members fall into a coma. Deanna Troi, the first crew member to come through it, cannot recall anything surrounding the incident.
Boy, that gives away quite a bit of the plot.
Yeah. Aaron, what do you think the IMDb rating of this episode is?
Go low would be my advice.
I'll say a 6.3.
May?
I did not like this episode. I give it a 6.
All right. Anybody else?
I may have seen the rating.
Then don't answer.
I'm not going to answer.
Excuse yourself.
What's the lowest vote? What's the lowest number?
But
6.
Why is it always the ears one?
Because it's shorter.
Yeah.
I should just take this off whenever I see somebody stand up because it just happens every time. What was the lowest vote?
6.
Oh, I think it's worse than that. I'm gonna say. Oh, but it's. I mean, my heart says 5-7.
All right.
I'm gonna say 7-2. Just gonna go
Going high.
going high. Just to,
All right. Jake.
No, I can't guess.
Oh, that's right. 6-2.
Okay.
Oh, so close.
So
May won.
May wins.
She said 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm glad.
That's about right.
Yep.
This is a very 6'2" episode.
That is not the number I remember seeing, so I should have just guessed.
What number did you get? I think you remembered.
Some crazy high number. I was like, I didn't think it was right.
That was the series high, then.
Yeah, it must have been. Or at least the season or something.
This guy, the guy who plays the guy you were asking about.
Yeah, the younger guy.
Ben Lemon is the actor's name.
Ben Lemon.
He was in Liar Liar.
He's in that? Okay.
Die Hard 2.
Uh-huh.
And one of our favorite topics, Hot Shots Part 2.
Oh, nice. Interesting.
And I'm looking right at Charlie Sheen, bow and arrow with the chicken.
With the chicken?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the chicken.
He's the chicken.
He was the chicken.
He played chicken.
He's so versatile.
Yeah.
His last thing was in 2017.
Okay. What about the older guy? I feel like I've seen him in a million
Yeah,
things.
I feel like his voice is very familiar.
That is.
As I was watching this, I just kept thinking of him as, I just kept calling him Boss Hogg because he kind of looked like Boss Hogg, but it's not Boss Hogg.
Hang on.
He's got an I am a bullfrog kind of.
He's got an acting.
He doesn't really have a big thing.
Oh, really?
His name is David Sage.
Okay.
He was on Falcon Crest for quite a while. He's in the Birdcage. Oh, he plays the senator that dies in the Birdcage.
Oh, okay. Sort of kicks off the plot.
Kicks off the whole scandal that they're going through.
Yeah. It's his like Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman's trying to keep it under wraps.
He dies with a hooker.
Right. That's quaint. Nowadays, nobody would care.
He's an episode of Quantum Leap.
I love that they're using those weird like super pointy forks in this episode. Like, remember they're just like dangerously long dagger-like forks.
They're just needles on the ends of pikes.
He doesn't do any voice work or animated. I feel like I hear his voice is familiar.
No.
Just got one of those voices.
Yeah.
Data is
Beverly. He was on Lois and Clark for a long time.
Oh, that's maybe where I know.
He was on Babylon. He was on Babylon 5.
I never really watched Babylon.
So I don't know.
I was a Star Trek boy.
Sure.
Was he the chief on Lois and Clark?
No.
No.
He wasn't a big Dr. Alan.
Okay, we're never gonna. We've gotten to we've dug as deep as we can on that. I think.
He's here.
What's funny about this scene is that Beverly is trying to basically just harass Jean-Luc.
He's the firehouse of actors.
He is the firehouse of actors.
You think you know at least one of the things he's done, but you don't know any of them.
Some of their sides are worse than others.
I agree.
It's got everything I don't like. Baines.
Nobody likes these people.
Yeah.
They keep saying, let us probe you. And Worf's like, Klingons do not enjoy being probed.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. You've never been probed by us. Is their retort.
Everyone's like, nah.
Really? Nobody wants to be probed at this party?
I have a brand new segment.
Oh.
Wait.
Should we introduce it now?
2020.
Sure.
Yeah.
The episode hasn't even really gotten going yet.
And it's going to take a while, too.
This is a segment really
Hers are the worst. Her ears are the worst.
You don't. I like her
braids
hair
help
though.
Offset it though.
Yeah, I like
She's
the hair.
Smart to get weird with the hair.
But oh my god, the openings over her ears were
Openings.
yeah. They were rough.
They have one of those difficult father-son relationships. Is she the mom though? I wasn't able to figure it out.
They never specify
if she is, they don't say.
Because they're father and son,
Right.
for sure. But I don't know if she's supposed to be the mom or not.
She's got an extensive IMDb as well.
Oh.
Good for her.
What's your segment?
She worked up to 2019.
Wow.
Yeah, she was
She
in
looks pretty
Baskets.
old in this episode.
Baskets.
This is a segment really only for Philippe and to a smaller extent me.
Nice.
It's called Font News.
Yes.
Jake, play the jingle.
Boom, boom, boom. those are fonts.
That's not bad. I like it.
I was going to do font news to the tune of Star Wars, but I was afraid it would get us a usage violation.
Font news.
No, I was going to do font wars, nothing but font wars. Bring us your font wars, font news.
All of the time.
Anyway, we'll cut all of that. So, times for a change. State Department picks a new official typeface. Philippe, did you hear about this?
No,
This is kind of big news in font world.
Yeah.
So, the Secretary of State, can anyone name America's current Secretary of State? I couldn't.
Maury Povich.
Aaron.
Anybody want to guess who the current? Anybody have any idea who the Secretary of State is?
Nope.
His name is Anthony Blinken.
Abe Lincoln?
Sure.
Yeah, he's A. He's A. Dot Blinken.
Abe Lincoln? Oh my God. Now I know this is a joke. Try to get one past us, but
So the secretary sent a memo out to all 13,000 active members of the State Department, telling them that they are no longer to use Times New Roman.
oh shit.
The subject line of the memo was the Times New Roman are a changin'.
I want to be able to...
Which I don't like, because I feel like the Secretary of State should have some fucking gravitas. You know? Don't be making Bob Dylan references in your emails to staff. So anyway, he has ordered the entire State Department to stop using Times New Roman and to start using Calibri.
Yes, everybody uses Calibri.
It was good.
Can you guys
Is it easier on the eye?
guess why this change is being made?
I think it'd probably be some tech thing because it has less, like it converts better in like
To plain text.
people's different. Yeah,
Because like all those serifs.
Serif. It's
more letters. Per
Yeah, I mean
line.
you're all essentially correct.
it's like
Sans serif typefaces, which Calibri is, are easier to read than their more Baroque relatives, particularly on a screen. Additionally, sans serif fonts are less likely to create problems for people who need to use optical character recognition and text-to-speech tools.
So it's more friendly.
So they're calling it like an accessibility issue.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So, like, if you're, blind and you need a device to read things aloud to you, that device has an easier time interpreting sans serif fonts. So there actually is. So there, all of the news was like, "Isn't this a silly, dumb, fucking thing for the Secretary of State to be doing
to weigh in on?"
But it turns out there's a practical reason for doing this.
Yeah,
I feel like Times New Roman is like passe, right?
I know, but I was just gonna say, I do
I
worry.
wrote all my papers in.
Yeah, well, in college it was like you could do it in Times New Roman or Arial. Those were like the two choices they gave you.
Ariel knew.
But I feel like you never see Times New Roman anymore unless you're reading the New York Times.
Document.
Like, when's the last time you saw Times New Roman like free in the world? Like,
no,
unless you're reading the New York Times website.
Unless they're trying to actually like sort of magically recall us.
Well, if it's a website and it's an accessibility thing, they might have had to change it.
But I do think that we're
get
gonna
sued if you're not correct in your website. So.
Yeah, but I wonder if we're gonna see the death of serif fonts.
I kind of feel like we are, because you don't see them anymore.
No, because you're not trying to implement.
They're not trendy.
What a serif is again?
It's like when they have like little flourishes.
It's like when there's a little thingy on the end that like doesn't need to be there.
It means like foot, right?
Yeah.
Without feet.
Sans serif. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, I thought that was an interesting story.
Oh,
Actually,
he did the drink, everybody.
Yeah, he stepped over the back of the chair.
He did the Riker maneuver.
Oh, yes. Drink it.
maneuver.
The FBI seizes entire Basquiat exhibition because of a font. This is a story about, I'm going to summarize it rather than reading the whole thing to you, but the basic the basic story is that there were all of these paintings that were supposedly by Jean-Michel Basquiat, who famously painted his paintings on the backs of like FedEx boxes. So this guy who purported to have he was an art dealer who purported to have all of these original Basquiats, and was going to auction them off for millions of dollars, got busted by the feds when they realized that the font, the FedEx typeface on the cardboard, was not from the correct time period.
They changed their branding.
Yeah, so in between like 1980 whatever, when Basquiat supposedly was painting these paintings, they had changed the typeface in 1994, 6 years after Basquiat was dead.
Right.
So they realized that these could not be real because of the font on the box.
Forensic fonts.
Forensic fonts. Font-solving crimes.
What can fonts do?
I could be a forensic font person.
I would watch a show about how fonts are used to solve crimes.
Forensics.
Fun.
I mean, there's always those scenes in serial killer movies where they're trying to find where the like typewriter he used was, or the magazines that he cut the letters out of.
Sure.
There was some document in the news, and they like were able to prove that it was a fake. That somebody was proffering, like, here's the we have these documents, and then they were like, that font did not exist at the time period. And so that happened like recently.
I mean, that's good. That gets into the whole.
Don't fuck with fonts.
I mean, that gets into the whole like. There's that whole plot in Catch Me If You Can where he's forging the checks, and there's the guy who's like the typography expert who's like, this typewriter could not have made these, type marks or whatever. Tom Hanks's guy is like, these checks are bogus, but they're very good. That guy.
Yeah.
There's a whole. You could have become, Philippe, if you had gone a different direction. You could have become a typography expert for the FBI as a job.
That would have been good.
And caught, forgers and scammers.
He would have been so
Except you're
corrupt.
you're on the side of the forgers and the scammers, though. So you
He would have been so easily corrupted by those people because he agrees with them.
I'm passionate about my fonts.
Anyway, that was font news.
Yay.
A new semi-recurring, depending on when there's news.
It's font news.
Just when the next generation is saying how there's nothing left and no worlds to explore, here it is. Font news.
I wonder if there's someone in the State Department who's just really pissed about this. They're like, this is
outrageous.
This is wokeness,
Some old
God
guy.
control.
Yeah, some old guy.
Woke.
Been in the State Department since the 60s. He's like, what a bunch of bullshit.
Why are my memos look different now?
I can't
hate
read
change.
this shit.
Yeah. What? The G doesn't have all this extra curly shit.
Where's my serifs?
Yeah, where the fuck are my serifs?
This document is sans.
Miss Gardsley, where are my serifs? These are sans
there were
serifs.
some jokes.
And I
There
clearly
was a lot of joke on Twitter being like, "Oh, they changed the State Department font to Comic Sans or Papyrus
Wingdings,
or
baby.
Wingdings."
What's your favorite font, guys? Do you guys have any kind of feeling? about
Avatar has really gotten me back into Papyrus, I have to say. After a long time away from Papyrus,
Yeah.
The Way of Water really made me go, that's a font,
That's
you
a
know?
font. That's a font.
That is a real,
Yeah.
say what you will, that is a font.
It's a
a little bit
font.
art. It's a little bit word letter.
I'm not going to say it's my favorite, but I've had a lot of dealings with Impact in my day.
Yeah. Impact is around. You're always like, Impact. You make it.
Only one movie has had a whole documentary. Only one font has had a whole documentary film made out of it.
Yeah,
Did you guys see that documentary?
Helvetica?
Yeah, it was really interesting.
It's really good. I really enjoyed that.
Oh, wow.
Because it's supposed to be like the clearest and most easily readable one, which is why it's on like
And then there's
freeway
the
signs.
Pepsi
and shit
version
like
of that, of course, which is Ariel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I use Ariel a lot.
Yeah, because
I feel like I use Ariel.
Helvetica wasn't available because it was actually like
Had to pay for
copyrighted.
it.
So they had to made a fake one.
Mm.
Something like that. It's in that documentary, and I might be completely misremembering, but
No, I feel like that's right.
yeah.
Should we catch up really quick?
Oh yeah, what are we watching, guys?
I was going to do Correction Corner, but sure, we can catch up real quick if you want to. Does anybody care?
I've completely lost what this episode.
I mean, there was some stuff with.
Basically, that guy is
I'll
mind raping everybody and is putting them in comas.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at Riker
Thank
passed
you.
out on his desk.
Yeah.
I feel like that's how Worf finds him every morning.
Yeah.
Worf wasn't even plus. He's like, again?
He's like,
Yeah, there's nothing wrong.
This is a little early for Will. You're usually not passed out by now.
Yeah. Usually still singing.
So the young guy is mind raping everybody.
I do like Times New Roman, I have to say. I hope it makes a comeback. I'm rooting for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want it to go away. Like I feel like we're just gonna get all into the.
I like whatever font the New Yorker uses.
That's a good font.
It's very fancy looking.
I like it. It's still readable.
Yeah.
I want to see the Law and Order type TV show that's about investigating.
Ooh, I like
fonts.
the Law and Order
Yeah,
font.
right?
What font is that they use in the dun-dun parts?
I think that's what it's called.
I was
Dun,
watching
dun.
a commercial on NBC today for the new Law and Order, and it looked like they were going to have Chris Maloney and Mariska Hargitay make out.
Yes, it seems like that's where they're going.
That's the whole point of having that show.
Have they ever had them make out before?
I don't believe so. I have not watched all of Law and Order SVU.
Even though they're on at your house on
24 hours a
24/7?
day. I have certainly seen most of them. I can't say that I've watched them.
Yeah, sure.
They've been on
They've been
while
on
I
in my
was in
vicinity.
while I was in the room or an adjacent room. Dan watches so much fucking Law and Order, you guys. It's
Wow.
absolutely insane.
Like
It's on all the time.
All the time.
I know.
In the
If
world.
we're not watching
It's
something
always
else.
on.
If we're not watching something else, he is watching
That's
Law and
his
Order.
go-to.
the
That's
default.
his comfort spot.
Yeah.
There's plenty to watch.
It's just he finds it just very sort of soothing and
Yeah.
relaxing and
I
like.
prefer.
It does have a rhythm.
Non-SVU. I like the.
No, he
Cats
watches.
SVU.
He doesn't discriminate. If it's regular Law and Order, if
I
that's
like-
what's on, he'll watch that.
That's
Because
the
it's
only-
on all day long, like on some
Sometimes
channel or
the
other.
Topics of SVU just are too much.
Yeah,
of a
it's
bummer.
gross,
Yeah.
that show. I don't like SVU. Can anybody recall, anybody other than Philippe, what the Star Trek font is called? The original Star Trek font from the old show?
It's like Constellation or something. No, no. What was it?
Nobody? Philippe, do you remember?
Not in the state I am in right now.
Sure. It's called Horizon.
Horizon. That was close.
Oh, that's a good name.
I think so too. It kind of captures
Yeah.
how that font looks.
Yeah, it has that like sort of split at
Yeah.
the cut at
The original like S, the STAR, like that font from the old show. So what's happening is there are these 3 aliens on the ship that are telepaths, and their whole deal is to go around and poke around in people's memories for some sort of like living memory museum that they're building. It doesn't matter. All you need to know is that they're telepaths. And one of them is a rapey bad guy, and he's put Troy into a coma by giving her these false memories of being attacked by Will.
Yeah.
And then Will came out, figured it out, was starting to figure it out. So then he zapped Will. So now Will's in a coma too. And so now what they're basically doing is just kind of trying to figure out what's causing all of these comas. They suspect the telepaths, but they can't prove it. So they're trying to get to the bottom of it. Beverly has detected a medical mumbo jumbo, and so they're trying to trace down this thing in an effort to either accuse or exonerate the telepaths. As I was watching this, I thought of a way to make it mildly better. I have 2 mild fixes for this episode. They don't make the episode great, but I think they fix a couple of problems. One is they should not show you that it's him so early in the episode.
Yeah.
It should be a mystery, right? Because they should have you suspecting both the kid and the father, which they kind of try and do later on in the episode. But it should be a mystery from the very beginning as to who's actually doing it. You obviously know it's one of them because otherwise they wouldn't be in this episode. But I think showing you that it's him right from the start takes a lot of the tension out of it, because now you're just waiting for the rest of the gang to figure out something you already know. And my other fix is that I would have Deanna save herself rather than be saved by Worf at the end, but that's coming up later.
I mean, she does a pretty decent job.
She does an okay job. She gives him a two-handed Kirk ear slap, which we haven't seen in a long time.
And what's also different about her fight at the end is, well, we'll see it, but it's like she does the slap and then it's not immediately over. It's like,
when Kirk did it, that was a kill move.
Yeah.
That was
Sure.
There was no coming back from the two-handed head slap. So now Beverly's getting mind raped, and she's having weird flashbacks to when her husband died. Poor Patrick Stewart has to wear a terrible fake hair in this episode.
That man's not meant to have.
Whoa,
covering up his best features.
No, it just makes him look weird
Basic.
and not good.
Yeah.
They also have him in the old school uniform, which I don't love.
This is rough. This is rough for me as a Stewart.
Beverly's hair is bad too.
Oh my gosh.
Everything about this is
Kind
bad.
of looks like Bryan Cranston.
He does.
They had to go back to her OG hair to.
This is even pre-OG.
Pre-OG, yeah. So who knows what she was doing.
I looked up the font for Law and Order.
Imagine what they said to her.
yeah.
Just stare blankly off into space, Gates. Should I be thinking about anything? No. Just look. Sorry, babe. Go ahead.
It's a Frizz Quadrata.
Oh,
Very nice.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dun dun.
Interesting. God bless you.
That sounds a pretty pretentious font name.
In the world of font.
Philippe does not approve.
This is all supposed to be sort of like creepy and disturbing, and it just does not really work. But see, it should be her husband, and instead it's an alien guy. So it's like, it's him. It just
like, why is he there?
This whole episode is flaccid.
The beginning of the font Law and Order, it's a guy moving packages saying, "Yeah, I saw that font last week. It was on a package I delivered."
Now leave me alone. I got a job to do.
Yeah, are we done here? Are we done talking about this?
My boss is gonna break my balls, you guys.
Every
Come on.
episode starts with a kid having a basketball go down a flight of stairs and finding a dead body
That's my
with a FedEx
favorite
box
part
next
of
to it.
every Law and Order. Is
He goes, "Ooh, Xbox."
the random
look at
slice of New York life.
Yeah.
that they
FedEx
use to
box's
open it
font
with.
doesn't seem right.
In the world.
Welcome to forensic fonts.
Yeah.
In the world of font law enforcement, there are two distinct but equally important groups.
Keep going. I want to hear the rest.
The field agents who make arrests and the typesetters
And the typographers.
and the typesetters
Who solve the crime.
who stare at documents all day in a poorly lit office.
These are their font stories.
That's great.
I would watch the shit out of
I
that.
would too.
That sounds like my new favorite show.
Yeah.
Font.
You guys know I like a show that is very slow moving and where nothing happens.
Do you remember our idea for a pressure cooker show?
If you made them British, I would love it even more.
Yeah.
And if they could do their job in a barn in the British countryside, that would
All
be
the better.
perfect.
Remember, I think at some point on this show we talked about maybe we did, maybe it's in the special features where we talked about a show about a pressure cooker. A pressure cooker show, and then just like we conjured it out of the air, there's a Netflix pressure cooker show there to
What do you
steal-
mean?
There's a
pressure cooker show.
They make stuff in pressure cookers?
Remember, we joked about making
and every episode is 9 hours long because that's how long you have to put things in the slow cooker. Oh, not a slow cooker, a pressure
Yes.
cooker.
No, the
Oh,
idea
so is the
was-
tension whether it will explode or not when you take the lid off?
Was that the wife dies and comes back as a pressure cooker?
Yeah, it's like one of those haunted
I
appliance.
think we talked about it.
We didn't?
I think that was offline, but
I don't
go
remember
ahead.
that, but
just bring
keep-
it up
but
like
go
it's,
on.
like it's just in the environment. Just bring it
That's
up.
what I'm saying. So, but then anyway, we were coming up with names for what the
Yeah.
pressure cooker show could be, under pressure and blah blah blah,
There's a
and then
fucking reality show with pressure cookers.
yeah, then it was
It's like My Mother the Car, but
Yes.
she's a pressure cooker.
exactly that.
Sounds like something.
I was imagining like a cooking show where
That's what's on Netflix.
That's what's on Netflix.
Actual show.
Way to go, right down the middle of the fairway.
way to choose the obvious answer.
Yeah. This was about
No wonder people say Hollywood is creatively bankrupt. My show about a talking pressure
You just like
cooker.
the idea of having to find a way to bring that into the room everywhere. It's pressure cooker.
Right. What's his excuse for carrying it around all the time?
Yeah. How do you keep it at eye level in every scene so they don't have to do some strange camera move?
Well, that was pretty
We're
funny.
still workshopping it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say
I just think,
maybe a couple more passes.
if you guys have heard about how, like, on the Alf set, because they had cut all these holes in, like, into the roof, it was a real dangerous set. People would fall through the holes all the time. I'm like, imagine what the pressure cooker show, the kind of dangerous set that would cultivate.
You'll shoot your eye out.
Pressure cooker.
I've never heard that people fell out of the ceiling on the Elf set.
Apparently, the Elf set was terrible and riddled with like all sorts of tensions and physical danger.
And the fear of falling into a hole.
Who were the tensions between Favreau and Will Ferrell?
I guess
not Elf. Alf.
Alf.
I was like, they were both on Alf.
Oh my god, this is going to be.
I thought you were talking about Elf.
I was talking about I'm talking about the much more culturally relevant Alf.
No, yeah, we have talked many times about
Alien
Alf.
life form.
Yes,
That's
we've
why
talked a lot
I
about
couldn't
Alf.
figure out why you was like, you're the one who told us that.
Yeah, I'm the one who told you that story. Yes.
That's great.
Well, I really thought you were saying Elf.
I was really confused. And then you started
They
talking
didn't-
about John
Hollywood doesn't
Favreau and
fix
Will
its
Ferrell, and I'm like, what the fuck
understanding.
is he talking about?
Wow.
Elf, Alf.
That took a turn.
That's an easy mistake.
Anybody.
I was like, wow, Will Ferrell and John Favreau must have really hated each other. Tensions on the set.
They were both on Alf.
Bob Newhart's an asshole, it turns out. I have corrections corner.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Jake, play the jingle.
Correction corner.
These are corrections for episode 129, Symbiosis.
Well, we're almost 100 episodes behind.
I took these notes a few weeks ago for the last time we were together, so some of them I don't really remember. But I do remember that it's the episode, Aaron, you'll recall, Symbiosis. It's the one where the one planet is a bunch of drug addicts and the other planet is the planet of suppliers. And they think that they have to take the drug as a medical thing, but it turns out that it's just capitalism. We talked in that episode about that it sort of got a Connie ending where at the end of it, Picard says, oh, we'll have to come back in 20 or 30. Because Picard, like, breaks the chain at the end of the episode. He totally meddles. And at the end, they're like, well, maybe in 20 years we'll come back and see what's going on. Lower Decks did a follow-up episode to that episode. There's an episode of Lower Decks where the gang on that ship, the Cerritos, they get sent to that planet, and it turns out that everything worked out great. They were all like super like healthy and like
That's amazing.
So that is a deep callback that Lower Decks
Those
made.
guys are great about that shit.
They are, and they are super nerds because they're going.
One of the
deep.
planets was great.
One of the planets was
Right,
great.
right.
The other one was a hellscape.
So anyway, I just thought it was hilarious that they made a callback to.
Yeah, that was a
So
great,
worked
great
out great.
a very obscure episode of Star Trek: The Next
I don't
Generation.
think I saw the first one.
I don't know if you were. It was when we were. It was
during
quarantine
time.
So it was when we were recording remotely. I don't remember.
Maybe I
if
fell asleep.
you were on that one or not.
Yes.
I have a note here that just says Aaron Corky Romano Autobio segment. Oh, you said that you were going to do a weekly, sort of, here's what I learned this week from reading Corky
You guys
Romano's
ready for my
biography.
weekly Corky Romano?
Yes, play the jingle, Jake.
I'm Corky Romano.
You guys want some cookies?
What's the last thing you remember reading in that book?
He goes, Corky, cork.
Here's a note that I cannot decipher. Philippe and teenage boys
No.
and horniness.
No.
Yolanda. Aaron wouldn't have liked him. What do you suppose that note is in reference to?
Oh, I think we talked about whether we would have liked each other if we were
In high school.
Oh, and you and Philippe said no because he was so horny all the time, or something like that. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Does that sound vaguely correct?
What's the correction?
I don't remember because I wrote this 3 weeks ago.
It's just to affirm that is correct.
I had a follow-up question. I just can't remember what it was now.
Think of it.
Sorry.
Feel free to reach out.
This one I did remember. Min, I don't remember how it came up, but Min was talking about how it smells bad on the space station.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
The real space station,
Right,
the ISS.
Not just the podcast ranch that we also call the space station.
Do you guys, we sort of glossed past it. We didn't really stop on it because we were talking about something else. Do you have a feeling or know anything at all about sort of hygiene on the space station?
Weren't we talking about this recently?
Seems like we were.
We were talking about this recently.
I thought we decided that that near the facilities that they had to use, it was not a great smell.
Oh, did I already do this correction?
Maybe we did.
Did I do this last time?
You talked about
We talked about that. I just don't remember any of the other things.
We talked about the ISS.
I wonder if you just brought it up because
maybe
On your mind.
It was on your mind. You were just
so maybe I've already
I don't remember
given
why
you.
it's
Maybe
smelly
I've
bad.
already told you
Oh, it
that
has a lot of trash.
that the International Space Station has a peculiar odor,
Yes,
according
yeah.
to one astronaut who has been up there. A peculiar odor that takes a couple of days to get used to.
What was
I
the
wonder if they
name?
could describe it.
Scott Kelly, who has the record for being the
days,
longest inhabitant of the space station.
So it's really his fault then.
He says it smells like trash, antiseptic, and BO, and it reminds him of jail. And which made me wonder, like, how do you know what a jail smells like? Turned out he got a tour of a jail at some point, and
he's been in a Turkish prison.
And remember, and it said the jail smelled like the ISS. So that sounds worse than peculiar. Trash, antiseptic, and BO sounds worse than peculiar.
Peculiar may
So
have
it
been a
really
nice way of
depends.
saying it.
Apparently, the answer is it depends on who you ask, as with so many things.
So basically, it smells like my house.
Because then I found a third
It's
article
become an astronaut training ground.
from the
All right, you just have to live in
Guardian.
here for a while and get used to the smell.
Here's the headline: Smelly, noisy, and awash with dead skin cells. Life on board the International Space Station. And according
That was
to
vivid.
this article, it is worse. So, like, all these articles all kind of have different takes on how stinky or not stinky. This one says the ISS is smelly, noisy, messy. It's like a terrible share house, except you can't leave. You have to work all the time, and no one gets a good night's sleep. Okie dokie. So I guess I did that one already. Never mind.
A little bit.
Got some good
but
de-
this was a deeper dive.
I like, this was a different.
There's some good
take.
details in there we didn't
Yeah,
have
this was
before.
a different and maybe even better take.
Jail.
It's hard to live in space, you guys. We're not meant for it. We're not built for it.
No.
I've been reading the Expanse books, the novels that the TV show was based on.
I read a few of those.
And I'm pretty deep in now. I'm on like 6 out of 9, I think.
Yeah, I don't think I made it past 3.
It's so much of those books is about just how hard it is to live in space and all the weird things it does to your body. Like, if you live on a planet with low gravity, you end up with real tall, weird misshapen bodies because there's no gravity. So much of those books is about just like the practical hardships of it.
It's great.
Look at the hole in that guy's ear up at the top. That's crazy. Sorry, I just remembered this was a Star Trek podcast.
Oh my God.
Sorry. Would you rather have some possum news?
Yeah. I mean, I like all of it. I like it all.
Or do you want to know what's going on in this episode? Or do you
Possum
news? Want to talk about something else?
Possum news.
Oh my God, I'm getting.
I could stop talking and you guys could talk for a while.
No,
I want some.
We want to know about the possums and what they're doing because it's.
Oh, she's about to beat him up though. This part's fun.
Yeah, it is pretty. Things get a little.
He does his like Professor X move here, where he's like whenever he wants to mind zap somebody. He does that thing that the James McAvoy does.
Yeah, he puts
the X-Men movie.
Yeah,
that's how you know he's being telepathy.
Yeah.
James McAvoy's character, also played by Sir Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, but Patrick Stewart doesn't do that with his hand. Only McAvoy does that.
Huh? Yeah.
I don't remember Patrick Stewart doing that. Does he?
He might do it once or twice.
Maybe.
Yeah.
When he's
he
telepathing
didn't
really
depend
hard.
on it though. He didn't. You lean on it like a crutch.
Yeah. Well, he grows out of it.
Wow, really throwing shade at James McAvoy's performance there.
I'm just saying.
Look, he rips off her like communicator.
Yeah. Smart.
Yeah. Is it smart? I feel like all you have to say is computer, and they.
Yeah.
Oh, watch this. Bam!
Yeah.
Bam! Smack!
Yeah.
That was the Kirk two-hander to the side of the head.
To him.
Yeah. See.
Watch Worf just punch him once. Bang!
Out.
For once, Worf successfully knocked someone out.
Normally, it's always like we're failing and somebody else.
You gotta give him like a win once in a while to remind you that no, he really is strong compared to everybody
He actually
He is head of security.
He actually is a good security officer. There's very little evidence of it most of the time.
I know most of things is like we're gonna show how tough these guys are by having them toss Worf around like a rag doll for about 5 minutes.
Yeah, but you should lock down everything. This is a security risk. Not yet, Mr. Worf. I don't think we need that just yet.
He does that in this episode.
Yeah.
Worf's like, I think the telepaths are the problem.
Yep.
You should lock them up. And Jean-Luc's like, now, Mr. Worf.
Yep.
There you go, jumping off the handle again. And Worf was right. Hashtag Worf was right.
No.
Hashtag believe all Worf.
Yes. Yes, all Worf.
You want to hear some possum news? Jake, play the jingle.
What's the possum
news?
Scratch.
Bite.
Boy, Cape Gazette covering Delaware's Cape region at capegazette.com really loves to write about the Possum Point players. Cape Gazette's favorite local community theater, because this is the 3rd or 4th article I've read on this podcast about a small community theater in Delaware.
Wow.
Wait until dark to open at Possum Hall, January 27th. Mystery thriller contains memorable scare. This is a pretty recent, well, it won't be by the time you guys hear this, but from January 27th to February 5th, you could go see.
We can still
Wait
go.
until dark on stage. We could jump on a plane tomorrow, fly to Delaware,
and
see Wait Until Dark tomorrow night.
Till the 27th.
All right, we'd have to spend a week in Delaware, and then we can see it.
We're like, we're in.
We can just wait and then
I
go.
bet there's stuff to do in Delaware.
Sure.
I'd love
Cape
to visit.
area, you're probably by a beach, right?
I'd love to visit Delaware.
Especially
Never
Delaware,
been.
We're blowing Delaware up. Delaware is running like all puffed and its chest out.
It would be hilarious if we got a huge spike in listens in Delaware.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
People just have like Google alerts for the word Delaware in any podcast. Can you search podcasts? You can't, right?
No, I don't think so.
God, I hope not.
No, I hope not. That sounds dangerous. That sounds terrible.
Anyway, they're doing Wait Until Dark. Anybody ever seen the movie Wait Until Dark?
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Audrey Hepburn.
Yep.
Yes.
Alan Arkin. She's blind.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh, actually, I can hear it.
It was a Broadway play before it was a movie, and the Possum Point Players are doing it.
Nice.
That's going to be hard. Those possums skitter. They make a lot of noise when they're in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Even a blind lady can tell if there's a possum in the apartment. Baby possum on tracks prompts Splash Mountain closure at Disneyland.
Yay!
It's from Patch.com. Splash Mountain at Disneyland Park was temporarily closed this week after a baby possum was spotted on the tracks. Anaheim, California.
That's right.
While ride malfunctions are the typical reason behind rides being temporarily closed at Disneyland, Tuesday afternoon's closure of Splash Mountain told a different story, KTLA reported. So anyway, they spotted a possum hanging around on the track. It was found and taken off of the track. So everything ends well.
And it was immediately sued for trademark
not having a ticket.
Trademark infringement.
Yeah.
It had cut its ears.
Being in Disneyland without a pass is a class 2 felony in California. Everybody knows that. Finally, so many of these stories are Australian. I feel like possums are just everywhere in Australia because so many of these stories come from there. abc.net.au. Gecko forges unlikely animal friendship with pygmy possum family in Western Australia. This is a story about a gecko
that did not get eaten. Is that
and a possum that became friends?
Became best friends.
Like Fox and the Hound, natural enemies.
Sure.
That
when
became
you're the best of friends.
They became lifelong friends until the end. As this movie has a sad ending. Would anybody like to see a picture of the gecko and the possum?
Are they hanging?
Yeah,
are they chilling out? They are.
Is it a monstrously large gecko? Oh, yeah, that's cool.
They're totally hanging out. I was a little bit cynical and callous about it until I saw that picture.
And your heart grew 2 sizes.
Yeah.
Like you watched Paddington 2. And
yeah.
God, I watched that movie again a couple of weeks ago. Did I tell you guys about this?
So good.
That is a movie that makes you not want to be dead.
Yeah.
Good.
That's a good thing.
It is a very,
movie.
very life-affirming movie.
It is.
Yeah. I
So
should watch it
good.
again.
Beautiful.
We're done.
Yay.
Episode ended 15 minutes ago.
Sure did.
Easy peasy.
Again, like a couple of quick fixes could have made this movie slightly better, this episode slightly better, I think. But all in all, it's like, again, like last week's, not a whole lot happens, right? It's kind of lowish stakes. I mean, it's not nice to, it's not nice
Aside
to
from the
mind rape
rapey.
people, but
yeah.
and it's like they figure it out and they catch the guy. The end. Blump.
There's not like
know.
a sort of secondary kind of, I don't know. It just seems
sorry. This is just something that's been on my list to talk about for a while, and I keep forgetting. The air supply guys are not gay, Sean.
Oh, they're not?
No.
Okay.
Sean told me
That's
once.
not what he heard.
Sean told me once while we were in the car, I think coming here, that he thought the air supply guys were a couple. They're not. They're not even gay. They are neither straight. They are neither gay nor together. They're just two guys in a band.
Okay. I was informed wrong.
Who occasionally
Stop
kiss on the
shipping
mouth.
them in your mind.
Right. Unlike the Chainsmokers, who this week confessed to having threesomes together. If you have a threesome, let me ask the straight men in this room a question, because I feel like this is an interesting. I feel like the answer is different if you're straight or not. If you have a threesome with where it's two guys and a girl,
the devil's threesome.
Is that what it's called?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
That's what it's called.
I guess that answers my question, because my question was, does that mean you're kind of not entirely straight? But I guess if it's the devil's threesome.
Cool.
I think it makes you a tiny bit gay, right?
Sure.
Why not? It's worth it.
Or a lot of bit bi, maybe?
Yeah, sure.
That's fine.
But you're certainly like not a Kinsey 1 or whatever.
Sure.
Can I legitimately think of like people who have, just let out the deep sigh and said, okay, let's do this? Sure. Yep, I'm in.
Anyway,
I'm sure it's happened.
I think that indicates a certain flexibility, sexually speaking.
Let's hope so.
Yeah.
And everyone just fell into an uncomfortable silence.
I'm just thinking about it.
I'm really considering
I'm pondering it. I'm guessing there's ranges of who does what.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like there's, full on gay sex happening.
I will admit that's the one threesome I've been in.
There you go.
Was in a devil's threesome.
I will cut all of this out of the episode.
It's too risque for a Star Trek.
That is too risque.
Podcast.
That is too dark for After Dark. It's not dark, but too
Yeah,
too sexy.
racy.
Yeah, too racy for After Dark.
I don't know. I'm gonna
That's a
think of,
story I want to
10
hear, though, off mic.
Off mic. It's not that exciting.
Well, let me be the judge of
Just
that.
one of those things. that
It's almost exactly like Jake described.
Yeah.
Yep. See?
Which is what did he say? I forgot.
Is you'd have the deep sigh and you're like, you're just in a situation in your life where like, yeah, I need this.
I don't need it. Was the person I was with needed this.
Yeah, there you go. See,
It was okay.
There were extenuating circumstances where,
right,
where it's like, okay,
that you can still believably no homo your way through it without having to.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah, the situation wasn't. The guy will be there. Okay, that's fine. There's a
that was part of the
there's a
reluctant. It's a reluctant. You're describing a reluctant threesome.
It most definitely was.
There you go.
As I've always said, though, I am an adult and I make choices, and I chose to do what I did.
Yeah,
it was not exactly what I was. I was not the one asking for the thing to happen.
Yeah.
Well, sure. It's always one or the other person's idea.
Somebody's gonna always want something.
Well, we'll get into this some more later because I've got hundreds of questions.
Right? We'll have a
anyway, the point is the Air Supply guys,
are not gay.
unlike the Chainsmokers, are not having sex with each other.
Well,
Double D.
they may be. They may
that we know
that.
Yeah.
They might have tried once.
Font News.
I'm sure they've had a devil's threesome with a woman.
Chances are.
Maybe we should not call it that anymore.
Oh, Glass Onion is a LARP. That's the thing that I wrote down.
Yeah,
Sure.
That's what it felt like.
100%.
Yeah.
It feels a lot. That movie feels a lot like a LARP.
They're
right?
there for a LARP.
Well,
That's
yeah,
the
they're
whole
literally
premise
there
of the
for a
movie
LARP.
is
Yeah.
They're there for a LARP.
But it actually also just is a LARP.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's lying about who they are. Everyone's pretending to be somebody
I think
else.
that's why I enjoyed it even more than Knives Out. It reminded me of.
I liked that movie a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
Sean and I were talking about it on the way over here.
It's a lot of fun.
I think Kate Hudson is so funny and so great in that movie. And she gets hit with she's like Deanna. She gets hit with the Nepo baby thing a lot, but
She's got a lot
very
of
good.
charisma, though.
I like how I just love the time frame of it. They're all wearing masks and
Yeah.
her mask is like visible.
Yeah.
It's like-
Yeah.
The one
She's like,
can't keep
it's
it on her
here,
nose.
but yeah.
And yeah. Hers is like,
Batista's not wearing a mask. 'Cause
Yeah.
he's like the men's rights group.
Yeah.
People. Everything about it is hilarious.
mm-hmm.
They get squirted in the mouth.
Yeah. And then problem solved.
Yeah.
Right. He just has the cure.
Like, don't worry about it.
He just hasn't bothered to give it to anybody else. That's all very funny.
Yep. Good times.
Well, that's pretty good. I think we should wrap it up.
Do
what do
it.
you guys think?
Let's do it.
I like it.
Thank you all very much for listening to Warped. Please go to iTunes or wherever you get
Hell
your
yeah.
podcasts to rate, review, and subscribe. I love Sean's become my white man while I'm doing the bit. I like it.
iTunes, baby.
iTunes, baby. Patreon.com/warped to become a patron and
Yeah,
get
give
access.
us money, bitches.
Get access to I don't even know what. I know what we're
Hey, there was some bonus content a couple weeks ago.
Oh, was there?
There was.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
Was our wonderful talk about Hot Shots Part 2.
Oh, sure.
And we also have confirmed that we will respond to comments sometimes. So
did we get a comment?
value.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, a few weeks ago we got.
Oh, and we
talked
responded?
about it. We
Oh,
talked
okay.
about it.
Oh,
our fan contacted us. Shout out to Kenyon.
That's right. Always.
Email is warpedthepodcast@gmail.com. We're on Twitter @warpedtrek. I'm on Twitter @hostwarped. Min is on Twitter for our
We love
Dungeons
you,
and
Min.
Dragons and Call of Cthulhu podcasts and
Come
live
back,
streams
Min.
@hostwarped.
Yeah.
And next week, what's next week? Is it a good one?
I don't know.
The Masterpiece Society. Picard's efforts to save a genetically engineered society from a natural disaster threatened to destroy it.
Is that like the Finer Things Club?
This is going to be a meddling. It's going to be a Starfleet meddler episode. Well, we'll see you then.
Well done.
My name is Matt.
I'm Sean.
I'm Jake.
Philippe.
Aaron.
I might.
Thank you for listening and good night.